Are you ready for what's about to happen?
Nope.
No, okay. All right. Do you mind grabbing what's in here, please? Do you mind pull it out?
Everything?
Yeah, everything. Yeah, that. Okay.
Oh my God.
Except for this.
Oh, okay.
Okay, do you mind showing the church what's that? Okay.
What?
Okay. So what do you have on your right hand there, Rob?
Mouse straps.
Mouse straps. Okay, okay. And what do you have on your left hand?
Gloves.
Okay. Now, do you like to eat, Rob?
Eat?
Yeah. Do you like food?
Of course.
Do you like junk food?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is what we're going to do, guys. This is what we're going to do, all right, Rob? Be prepared. There's two boxes here, right? Box number 1 and box number 2. So in one of the boxes, what do you think we're going to do? That's right. We're going to put a mouse trap in one of them. And in the other box, we're going to put some goodies. I have some munchies over here. You can pick which one you like. We have Kit Kat. We have, how do you pronounce this? Ferrero? Yes, that. And we have a Snickers bar. You choose Kit Kat. Okay. Okay, do you mind blindfolding yourself for the moment?
I'm already blind.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, who said that? Uh-oh. You're going to be next, by the way. All right. Can you see what's in front of you?
Okay, no.
Okay. Now, do you mind putting on this glove
Okay.
and turn around?
Oh my God.
Yes. Okay, guys, I need your help. Don't, with your reactions, don't let him know what we're doing, okay?
Please do.
Should I put this one here or here? Okay, here, I got it.
They're both here.
Okay, now here's the surprise, right? Should I put this one here or this one? This or that? Man. Okay, we're going to do this for now, okay? Oh, I got to move this out of the way. All right, Rob, I need you to turn around. Now, let me get your hand.
Oh my God.
This is box number 1,
Okay.
and this is box number 2.
Okay.
There's a small opening on the top of the box. Wait, when you decide which box you want to go for, I want you to put your hand straight down and press it against the table.
What? Like flat?
Yeah, flat.
Oh my God.
Okay? Okay, wait, before you begin, take a minute to think about it. You have a chance to back down. Think about it. I'll give you a few seconds. I'm going to ask the congregation some stuff in the meantime. Do you think he should do it, guys? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think Ola is your only friend in this whole in this whole church body. All right, Rob.
Oh my God.
I personally think you should do it.
I should?
I think you should.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, there we go.
But you just said no.
All right, there we go. There we go.
I know that voice.
Okay. So now, box number 1 or box number 2?
Okay. Eeny, meeny, miny. Wait, what's the Mo?
Okay.
Mo.
Yes.
I know Mo.
Okay. Go for it. Okay, wait. I have one more thing for you to do.
Oh my God.
I forgot. Do you mind just taking off the blindfold first? Just lift it up above your head.
Do I still?
So you see, yeah, so you can see. Now, can you just read this and sign over here?
Oh my God.
Yeah. You can read it out loud.
I hereby acknowledge that if anything happens to my fingers or my hands or even my emotional status, I will not hold Pastor Terrence or LifeNet accountable.
Okay, thank you. Yes, please sign over there, Rob. Okay. So we can't get sued, guys. We're safe. All right. You can cover back your eyes now. Yes. Well, you don't have to put on the glove if you don't want to. That's just there for your protection.
I want the protection.
Oh, you want the protection? All right, all right. Walk by faith. Hold on, let me move this out of the way. Okay. Now, go for the box you wanted to go for. Okay. Make some noise for him, guys. All right, so what is it down there, Rob?
I don't know.
Okay, try to grab it. Oh, okay. Okay, pull it out. There we go. Okay. So is it safe?
Yes.
There we go. All right, congratulations, Rob. You made it. You made it through level 1. Okay, great. Now, keep your eyes closed.
Okay, I mean,
You already got the Kit Kat, right?
Yes.
That's Kit Kat. So now we have Snickers and Ferrero, that one. Yeah, so which one do you prefer?
Ferrero Rocher.
Ferrero, okay. Okay, here, hold on to my mic for a second.
Okay. I got a Kit Kat. Oh my gosh, what? Yo.
Is everything okay, Rob?
Yes, I'm fine.
Okay.
You're not nervous. I'm-
You could say a joke in the meantime.
Help. Please help. Mom, if you're watching this, I hope you're proud. See, I'm participating. I just want chocolate. I don't want pain.
Can I borrow the mic again, please? Thank you. All right, guys. Should I put this chocolate over here? Or should I put this chocolate over here?
Both said yes. This doesn't help me.
Woo! All right, Rob. Box number 1 or box number 2?
Hold up, I need to do my ritual.
Okay.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Okay, we got this.
Okay, remember?
I feel it.
Hold on. Hold on.
No!
All right, all right, Rob. You could take off the blindfold. It's okay. You could take off the blindfold. How are you walking without? You could take it off. You could take it off. Yeah, you could see what's in this box. And you could see what's in this box.
You like it?
Let's give it up for Rob, guys. Thank you, Rob. Yeah, you can have the Ferrero. There you go. I saw that. Whoa, all right. All right, guys. When I bought these straps, I must say, I'm going to admit one thing to you guys. I do not like rats. All right, that's one thing I'm openly admitting to you guys. You can leave the table up here, son. That's okay. Thank you. Yes, but the point of that illustration was to show you that sometimes the enemy will use different strategies to try and convince us to do what the enemy wants us to do, because he wants us to believe that what he has for us is better. And there might be times where you might get the Kit Kat, like Rob did, That's right. So you might do something that you're not supposed to and be like, oh, okay, I got away with it. It looks okay. Maybe I can do it again. But that's what the enemy wants you to believe. He wants you to believe that it's okay to deceive yourself and to fall into the trap. Because he is here to kill, steal, and destroy. The enemy tries to put us in a trap by tempting us in the world and also trapping us in the spiritual world. But it all comes down to one thing, and that is the choice you make. I know it's easy to say, oh God, you gave me these feelings. Why did you give me this? We blame it on God, right? But it's not God. It's our own decisions. He loves us so much that he gives us the freedom to make our own choices. And the Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians 10:13, God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, he will also provide a way out so that you can stand up under it. You see, Rob had a choice of whether he could back off or if he should fall for the bait and go for it. He knew what he was getting himself into. We knew what he was getting himself into. And we really weren't that much of a help. Honestly, we wanted him to get his fingers trapped in there. I was kind of disappointed it didn't slam on his fingers, but, you know. But he knew what he was getting into. Now, if he stood up here and he said, you know what, Pastor Terrence, I'm good. I'm walking away. I'm good. He could have done that. But the enemy doesn't just stop. And we have to understand that the enemy is a real thing. And if Rob stopped right there, the enemy would have continued to entice him with more chocolates, more money, more whatever the enemy knows his weaknesses are. He'll try to make his silver platter look beautiful. Now, just like how I had put some form of incentives in these boxes up here, whether you realize it or not, the enemy is placing all kinds of bait in your path, trying to entice you and take you captive and make you its prisoner. Now, see, God has a table on one side, and on that side, there's provision, there's health, there's love, there's compassion, there's mercy, forgiveness. Oh, I said that already. And now on this side, the enemy has another table with loud music that's getting your attention, with drugs, alcohol, different kinds of temptations, the nice, greasy $5 fried chicken, all the unhealthy foods. Which brings me to my first point, the trap of temptation. Now, has anyone here ever received those emails that says, you have been chosen to win $1 million from around, looks like a lot of us here, okay. Due to random selection, I know some of us, I actually knew someone who fell victim of that email. And unfortunately, he didn't win anything. But because the enemy had him so trapped in his scheme that up until today, he will argue with you and tell you that he was supposed to win that money. It's because somebody robbed him. That's why he didn't win that money. That's a whole different story. There's a lot more to it behind it, but I'll just share that with you guys today. But let's try to make it relate more to what we see happening around us here in Belize. Let's see how it affects our relationships. When the enemy sees good relationships, he gets scared. He starts to tremble. He's afraid of what can come out of it. And remember, it's the enemy, so it will use all different kinds of tactics and schemes. but the enemy pounces on every opportunity it gets. For instance, if you have an argument with your husband or your wife, boom, the moment you walk out that door, you go into work and you meet that old friend, like, oh, hey, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a long time. You know, you exchange numbers and she touches you on the shoulder, starts giggling and laughing at your lame jokes. You know, and then you feel content. You're like, oh man, my wife is mad at me at home, but this one's laughing at my jokes. Or for the ladies, you know, when you meet that old friend, he gives you that tight squeeze and he's like, oh, you're looking good, girl. Making you feel wanted. And then you guys start messaging each other regularly, making it a habit after you exchange numbers. And then, whether you realize it or not, the enemy has you and he will convince you to imagine how better your life would be if this happened or if that happened, leaving you unhappy with your current situation. The enemy is a trickster. He hates marriage. And because marriage is the image of God, he hates everything about marriage. He hates the potential you and your partner have together through Christ. He hates it so much that he will even try to destroy it before it even begins. Many times, people are about to get married, and a few months before, there's so much excitement and whatnot, but then the enemy barges in. And he starts to tell you, is this what you really want? Being with this one person for the rest of your life? Really? Remember before you used to be able to go out with your friends whenever you wanted, nobody stopped you? All your freedom will be lost. What am I going to do? You see, the past, you know how that is. You have lived through it. Whether it was good or bad, it doesn't matter. You've lived through it, which means you're more comfortable with it than not knowing what's coming in the future. So we have to understand that God wants us to grow, and growth sometimes means changes. And if we refuse to change, then we are refusing to choose God's will in our lives. Now, temptation comes in different forms. Alcohol is also a huge, huge setback in our nation. Many times we are tempted to drink to hide from what's happening in our reality. I know because that used to be me before. And you might say, 1 drink, 2 drinks, that's okay, I can handle it, I'm strong. Nothing wrong with that. But then 1 drink turns into 2, 2 turns into 3, 3 to 4. Then, whether you know it or not, the alcohol is controlling you instead of you controlling the alcohol. Now, drugs in our nation also is a huge setback. It's also very tempting to make a quick buck. And also, when you might be in a financial crisis, and any means to make a quick buck sounds good. For example, I'm going to give you guys a short story of what happened to my wife's brother-in-law in Guatemala. This happened long time ago. So he opened a restaurant in Guatemala. And he's been running it for some months now. And then one day, these drug dealers come into the restaurant. Like normal customers, sit down on the table and lay their drugs on the table. Like normal customers. Now, bear in mind that these guys control the whole neighborhood, right? So when they came in there, they wanted my wife's brother-in-law to start selling the drugs for them through his business. Now, he had a choice. They made it sound very beautiful. They made a silver platter with, you're going to make lots of money. You'll be able to get all the girls. You'll be able to live a lavish life. Very tempting, right? So my wife's brother-in-law, The next day, he closed and he never went back there again. Now, even though it sounded tempting, but was it really worth it? Yes, he denied and walked away from it, and that meant a lot of sacrifice because he had to give up his business, and that's not an easy decision. That's your life right there, right? That's how you make your money. If I'm going to give it up, what's going to happen next, right? But God directed him to leave, and he provided for them. Was it scary? Yes, and it was tempting as well. You see, we just went over the trap of temptation just now. Let's see what the word also says about some other traps. Let's read over James chapter 1, verses 2 to 6. Verse 2, it says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds." Now here you notice James uses the word whenever. Now what this means is that you will face trials. It doesn't mean because you're a Christian, your trials are going to disappear. It's not very uplifting, right? I know. I thought being a Christian meant no more problems. Let's continue reading. Let's go to verse 3. It says, "Because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." Here James is telling us that our troubles that we face will only make you stronger. It's easier to just walk out of the situation or drink your way through it to avoid the reality, but that doesn't make it go away. So James advises us to walk in faith so we learn from it so we can gain some wisdom. Now, let's go on to the next verse, verse 5. "If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. But when you ask, you must believe and not doubt. And not doubt, because the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind." Now, seeking wisdom on your own is no easy task. Someone usually has to pay a huge price before fully understanding. But our God is so generous, He gives it all without finding fault. But many times, we still doubt. And if we doubt God, then we certainly won't be able to trust our own selves. If we can't trust God, how can we trust ourselves, right? Which leads me to our second point, the trap of self-doubt. I have another illustration here for you guys. I know, today's all about illustrations. Bless you. Okay, what color do you guys like? Pink, green, or orange? Anyone? Oh, wow, I should have been asked. I'm just going to pick orange because I didn't hear anybody say orange. Hey, does anybody see the scissors? I brought a scissors up here. Thank you, son. All right. All right. I'm going to use this paper, all right? Now, the challenge here is I'm going to try to cut a hole in this paper and fit it through my whole body. Right? No one's ever done that before? No? All right. I'm gonna make it even better. I have 3 extra papers here, but it's a little bigger ones. I'm just gonna give it to 3 random people here, and you guys try it. Okay? As long as the paper, you can rip the center, make a hole, but as long as it doesn't fully break apart. Here, Nathaniel, I'll give you one. You don't want one? All right, Menno. All right, Emil. You want to try one? All right, buddy. Okay, while they're trying, I will do mine in a few. You guys try in the meantime, whatever you got to do. Should we give them a minute? Okay, let's give them a minute then. Let's see what they can come up with. You know, let me start to do mine in the meantime. All right. Okay. Don't copy me, guys. Okay. Okay. I had to practice this at home about 3 or 4 times before I got it right myself. Okay, so far does it look like it's going to happen? Okay. Okay. Emil got it? Oh, Emil, come on up. Why didn't you show it up here? Oh no, but fit it through your body. That's good. I like that. That's good. That's right, teamwork. He fit it through his daughter's body. That's good. That's smart. You beat the system. You found the loophole, Emil. Okay, now try to fit it around your body, Emil. Come on, Emil. You can do it. Okay. Everyone's curious to see, how is this going to happen? Is it going to happen? I don't know. Come on up here, somebody. Stand up, Emil. All right. So was it impossible in your eyes? Yes. Right? It was impossible. Well, at least that's what we thought. Now let's look up at some people in the Bible. Let's talk about the Apostle Paul. And I'll get back to the illustration in a few. You see, he used to be Saul before, right? And he was a terror to the early church, going door to door in Jerusalem, looking for people who followed Christ so he could imprison them. Now, that was his mission. That was his goal. Until one day, he had an encounter with Jesus, and from that day began his transformation. But what do you think went on in his head during that time? If I was going around killing Christians and imprisoning them, I would find it difficult to believe that God wants to use me in his ministry. Why me? I've done so much wrong. I've imprisoned so many Christians. I've killed people. How can he overcome that feeling of doing wrong his whole life? But that's what the enemy wants you to believe. That you cannot overcome that. Now let's also look at Peter's denial of Christ. Peter was the only disciple to try and walk over water. When Jesus predicts that Peter will deny him, Peter must have been like, I'm not going to deny you, Jesus. Why are you saying that? I'm not going to do that. But one night, someone confronts him of being a follower of Christ, and Peter denies him not once, not twice, but 3 times. Now, can you imagine how he must have felt after he denied Jesus? I don't think he felt happy. He was weeping bitterly. Now, how could I have done that to Jesus? The enemy could have had a hold on him and trapped him in that self-doubt and that trap of being a failure. Now, as you may see, as you guys saw in your eyes, that looked impossible. We all doubt ourselves many times. Just like Apostle Paul. Paul may have thought, I'm a failure. How am I going to be used in the kingdom? I'm nobody. Well, self-doubt will sometimes lose our value of our own selves. And sometimes that leads to making poor decisions, making poor choices of friends. And also, as Peter, when he denied Jesus, I chose these two people because Paul, he wasn't a believer first, right? And there might be people in here that still haven't given up their life to Christ, but God can still use you. And then I chose Peter because he was a believer and yet he failed. What I'm trying to say here is, no matter if you are a strong believer or if a newborn believer or not a believer as yet, we all fail sometimes. We all fail. But then the enemy puts that self-doubt in our heads, and he tells us that, hey, you failed at this. Are you really worthy? Hey, I sinned yesterday. Should I go to church? I'm not worthy. Hey, I went out and I drank last night. Am I worthy? But in this church, I can guarantee you there's a testimony in each and every one of you. And God gives us these testimonies as a gift. He gives us these gifts so that we can be used on His kingdom here on earth. He gives us this gift so that we can go out there and share with people, because my testimony can reach a certain type of people, a certain amount of people. Now, your testimony can reach some other people. Your testimony will be able to reach the other people. I can talk about alcohol. I can talk about drugs. My wife can talk about surgeries and sickness and healing. My friend can talk about overcoming alcohol. My other friends can talk about how God fixed their relationships. Now, as I'm coming to a close, I just want you all to know that God has each and every one of you on His mind all the time. And He has a plan to use your testimony, but it is up to you to not be afraid to stand up and use it.